Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am giving you all the books that I read in 2023. I did not know how many books I read, and surprisingly enough, I read 26 books this year. This is the most that I've read in I don't know how long, so super proud of that. And I kind of just want to do a run through of all the books. And by the way, this is in no particular order. I do not remember the order in which I read these books, and also not giving you any ratings because of course like I don't remember at all. I think this year I may keep some type of like reading journal or something like that so I can have everything in one place, because I don't know how you remember what you rated a book because I completely forget. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So the first book I have is Allegedly by, you cannot even see that, Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson. Now this is a thriller. It was pretty good. I kept wanting to know what was going to happen. Like I kept wanting to know more, but the ending was a little bit, what should I say, the ending was just a little bit underwhelming, if you will. But yeah, it was kind of like right in your face. Like, yeah, it was right in your face. That's the only thing I can say. The next book is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Absolutely love TJR. I am a huge TJR fan. Now, Malibu Rising is not my favorite book. It's actually my least favorite book no, that's not true. I actually read another book by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So this is not my least favorite, but this is not Daisy Jones and the Six or Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. To me, it's not up there, but I did start off the year reading this, and I did want to read the books in order. They're not really a part of a series, but they kind of bring up certain characters that were in previous books, so I kind of just wanted to read that in order. You really don't have to. They're definitely standalones, but I just wanted to do that. Next I have The Housemaid's Secret. Now, I did read The Housemaid, but I have a whole nother list of books after I go through these with you that I either read on the Libby app or got from the library, and so that's where I got The Housemaid. So you'll hear about that in a little bit. But Housemaid's Secret, I absolutely love The Housemaid, so I knew I had to pick this one up. This one was very, very similar to the first book, but overall I thought it was still good. Next I have Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. Now, if you guys have been watching my videos, you already know what I think about this book. I definitely think this book was a little bit overhyped. Now, this one is a romance. People absolutely love this book. A lot of people say this book is, you know, what helped them get back into reading. I loved the past and present timeline. Now, the past timeline I really, really liked. Present wasn't really a huge fan of. But I think I kind of went into this book with too many high expectations, just because of everything that I've heard about it. But again, like I said in that video, that's the one thing I love about reading. Everyone has their opinions. Everyone, you know, likes different things, and we can all be reading the same thing and come out with a very different outcome. So yeah, that's Love in Other Words. Next I have Local Woman Missing. Again, this was a thriller that kept me wanting more. I kept wanting to just pick it up and read it, but the ending was so overwhelming. So underwhelming. I was so upset about it. Like, I was just like, no. I know this ain't the ending. I know this is not what it is. Okay. Next, I have The Perfect Marriage. Again, a thriller. This one was the last book I actually read of 2023. Very similar to my other thrillers. Like, this book kept me wanting more. I wanted to know what happened, and again, it was just like, I can't believe it was right in front of me. I'm not the person that guesses thrillers or, you know, figure out what's gonna happen or anything like that. And so I I feel like I'm always like surprised, or if it's, you know, something that's right in front of me, I just don't get it. And so the fact that this one was right there, I was like, oh my gosh. Next I have Unite Me. Now this one is by Tahereh Mafi. I think that's how you say her name. Now this one is a part of a series. This is part of the Shatter Me series. I'm sure you've heard great things about this book, or this series I should say, but this is the novella after Shatter Me. So I read Shatter Me and then I read this one. So yeah, it's kind of, this one takes place in the same timeline as Shatter Me, but you get a different character's point of view of what happened. So yeah, I really like this. I'd never read a novella before, so yeah, I like this. Next we have A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Now this one is a mystery thriller, but this one is YA, so young adult. The good thing about these, that at least from my experience reading YA, it's super easy to read. Like, you can always just kind of go through it super fast, and you're not really thinking too much about what you're reading. And so I would say definitely start out with a YA if you're kind of just getting into it. Now this one is a part of a series. I have not read any of the other books. I do have the second book though in this series, but like I said, I hadn't picked it up. But again, if you're looking for something quick, easy, maybe your first thriller, I would recommend this. Next we have Love and Gelato. Now this one again is a YA. I feel like I don't read too many YA books, but this one was cute. It had a little bit of romance. It had a little bit of coming of age. This one is about a girl. Her mother dies and she doesn't know who her father is, and she eventually goes to visit her father. She figures out who he is, or after her mom passed away, she goes to visit her father, and she learns so many things about her life and her upbringing and so many different things. So I think this one is also a part of a series as well. I know they have other books. I'm not sure if it's really a series or they can be read as standalones, but yeah, very cute coming of age story. I have We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han. Now this is the third book in the Summer I Turned Pretty series. I love these books. I say I don't read too many YA, and like all the books that I'm pulling is YA, so maybe I need to rethink that. But I absolutely love this. I don't know what it is about this series, but again, like I said about every YA book, it was super easy to read, but this one was like, it was so easy to read, but it didn't feel like I was reading at all. I just flew through these. I think each of these books in the series, now there's only 3, I feel like I read each of them in 2 days. Super easy, like I said, of course, to read. And so I absolutely love this series. It is also a TV show. I don't really like the TV show too much, or just not as much as I like the books. Of course, it's a show, so they change some things, but yeah. Next we have If He Had Been With Me. Again, another YA book. This one will tear at your heartstrings. This one is a romance as well. There is another book coming out. I can't remember the name of it, but this is from one character's point of view, the girl's point of view, and the next book is going to be from the boy's point of view. So I'm actually excited to read it. Excited, but also not excited again, because this will pull at your heartstrings so much. But this is a YA book, another one that I would recommend if you're just starting to read, or if you're a younger reader looking for recommendations. I would say to pick this one up as well. Another YA book I have is Better Than the Movies. So this is Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I feel like this one is a very popular YA book. Very cute. It gives me that like just a nostalgia vibe. I love this. I really liked it. In the beginning I didn't think that I would, but I liked it. I thought it was cool. I actually heard, I listened to book podcasts, and one of the podcasts that I listen to is Bookmarked by Sarah and Destiny. They're both booktubers here on YouTube, and I was listening to their most recent podcast, and they said that there is another book coming out. So I guess this one's going to be a duology, I'm assuming. So there's another book that's coming out after this one. And I didn't know that. So and I believe it comes out this year in 2024. So that's something that I will have to pick up as well. Next we have One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So last year is when I first discovered Taylor Jenkins Reid. I was like, I'm obsessed with her. I love her. And so at first in the year I was like, oh, I have to read all of her backlist. I never got around to it. So prior I had read, like I said, Daisy Jones and the Six, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and then this year I read Malibu Rising. And I was like, oh, I really want to like just read her backlist and complete that. And so I started with this one. This one is very interesting. This is about a couple that they get married, and then after they get married, the husband passes away, and so she's moving on with her life, trying to figure out her life. She eventually moves on and finds out that her husband did not pass away. And so at this point she's I believe, if I remember correctly, she's engaged to someone else when she finds this out, and so it goes through that story. So yeah, this was a good book as well by her. Next we have Beach Read by Emily Henry. Now this one, this was my first Emily Henry book, the only Emily Henry book actually that I've completed, and I really like this one. I'm not a huge fan, I don't know what it is, but I feel as though I'm not a huge fan of romance books too much. I'm not an avid romance reader. I feel like of the genres that I read, romance is the least that I read. This one, I actually really liked it. I really liked this story. It takes place on the beach, and it's really good. And then next we have Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This one is a really good book. I absolutely love it. Now, this one holds a special place in my heart because I love tennis. I'm a huge tennis fan. I love the sport so much, and this book tells the story of a girl who has now retired from the game of tennis. She decides to go back, and it goes through her journey of going back into tennis and trying to accomplish a goal. Yeah, I really like this book a lot. I know some that don't like it if you don't understand tennis, which makes sense because that's a huge part of this book, but I really love this one too. Okay guys, so now what I'm going to do is get into the books that I don't have a physical copy of. So I kind of just made a list on my phone of what books I have read that I've either read on the Libby app. So for those of you that don't know, Libby is an app where you can utilize your library card. You just put in your library card number into the app, and it allows you to read books from your library on the app. And so you can read them physically, or you can read them audiobook version, and I love it. You do have wait times with Libby. It is a very popular app, so depending on which books you read, you will have to like place a hold, and it may be like weeks and weeks or even months before you even get access to the book. But it is a great way if you wanted to save money, of course, and not go into the physical library. Yeah, so these books that I'm going to mention, I either read on the Libby app, like I mentioned, or I went into my local library and picked those books up myself. All right, so the next one is going to be The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. Now this one, again, is a romance. This one was kind of out of my comfort zone, if you will. This was something else. I really didn't think that I would like it. And immediately off the bat, I was hooked with this book. And yeah, next we have Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. Now this book not really a huge fan of. I know a ton of people like it, and I wish I was one of those people, but this one is a thriller. And again, this one just was a little bit underwhelming for me at the end. Next, I started the Magnolia Park series by Jessa Hastings. Now this one is a very, very hyped series, and I have to say that I'm a part of the hype now. I get it. I really liked Magnolia Parks. Now it did take me a while to get into. I was kind of reading it, picking up here and there, and it wasn't until probably like the last 40 to 30% of the book that I started to really get into it. And for those of you that don't know, this is compared to Gossip Girl. It's high society, it's based in London, and it's drama, it's messy, it's all the things. So yes, definitely check the trigger warnings on all of your books that you're reading, if that's something that matters to you. So I would highly recommend that with this. But I really liked Magnolia Parks, and after that I went in with Daisy Hates by Jessa Hastings. So that is the second book. So I actually think I liked Daisy's stories better than Magnolia's. So I'm super excited to continue the series. I haven't read any further than that, and I know that the last Magnolia book in the series is coming out this year. So I definitely kind of want to catch up so I can read with everyone as we have the new one. And I see that so many people have gotten arcs of this book, of the newest Magnolia Parks books that's going to come out. So that's super exciting to see. The next one is The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. Now this one is a thriller as well. This one, honestly, I don't remember too much about. I knew the story kind of threw me for a loop. I didn't, again, I don't ever know what's happening in a thriller. Like, I can't ever guess it for the most part. But yeah, I don't really remember too much about that book. The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I absolutely loved it. Again, this one is a thriller also, and this one was my first Riley Sager book. There are other books by him that I definitely want to get to and read. I hear nothing but great things, so I'm super excited about that. I actually did get another book by Riley Sager last year that I have not read, so super excited to jump into that. Next one is Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. That was my first R.F. Kuang book also. So Yellowface was really good. It's a unique perspective, very interesting story. Again, I won't get too much into any of these books because I definitely want to keep everything spoiler free. So I read Yellowface, really liked it. Highly would recommend that book. The next one is The House of Eve by Sarika Johnson. Now this book, I really like this book. I don't know if this is just considered a general fiction book. I feel like it is, but I really love the story and the topics and the things that it covered about being Black in America. And I can't remember the setting as far as like when it took place, but I would highly recommend that book. The next book that I read, or actually this was an audiobook. This is I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jennette McCurdy. This was my first audiobook, or memoir, if you will, and I really liked it. So previously I tried to get into audiobooks and I didn't like it at all. I don't know what it is. It's something about like the voice actors that I just can't continue and follow with. But when I'm listening to a memoir and they're telling their story, it's something about that I can really listen and get into. So I'm definitely looking to get into more memoirs, listening to them this year. I hear good things about Viola Davis's book, as well as Britney Spears. So I'm excited to kind of listen to those as well. The next one I have is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So this was my my first book by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. It's compared to Criminal Minds, and I really liked it. I do plan to continue the series as well. Next I have The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. I right guys, so that's all the books that I read in 2023. I'm super excited to take you on the journey this year in 2024. This year my goal is to read 50 books. And I have it already set up on my Goodreads. I want to do better this year tracking my books. And yeah, I'm super excited. I can't wait to take you guys along on this journey. Again, thank you so much for watching and supporting me. I absolutely appreciate it. Let me know in the comments down below some of the books that were your favorite in 2023, any reads that I need to put on my 2024 reading list, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.